I never thought in my entire adult life that I would welcome a military coup. But when it comes to the overthrow of Robert Mugabe, the president of Zimbabwe, I not only welcome it, I absolutely treasure it. The man was in power as a tyrant for nearly 40 years of murder and pillage and torture and rape. 40 years which began in 1980 with the slaughter of 20 to 30,000 ethnic opponents in an area of Zimbabwe called Matabeleland. Nearly 40 years which were characterized by carnage and corruption and rigged elections. And now at the end of the 40-year period, the entire economic and social infrastructure of Zimbabwe demolished. Do you know that the unemployment rate in Zimbabwe is 90%? And the entire country is sustained by food from the World Food Program? And now he's effectively gone. He may assume some titular presence, but it's pretty well over. It's as though he were dead. As a matter of fact, why isn't he dead? He's 93. It's time he left the planet. I must admit, however, that the succession is not auspicious. As I tape this, we don't know exactly what's going to happen. Confusion still reigns. I suppose it might be Grace Mugabe, a fanatical zealot who cares more about Gucci shoes than about the people of her country. Or it could be Ngagwa, the vice president, who was fired by Mugabe and triggered this crisis. But Ngagwa, you know, orchestrated the slaughter in the early 1980s, and through the entire reign of Mugabe never uttered so much as a word of dissent. And then there's the possibility of Morgan Tsvangirai, the head of the opposition, but he's quite ill with cancer, and it isn't at all certain that he could be part of a coalition. Nonetheless, the people of Zimbabwe are relieved. They're going about their business. There was no blood in the military coup. Hope springs eternal. One of the more rancid moments that occurred during the course of the last 24 to 48 hours was, of course, the comment made by the Africa Union, that's the umbrella group of African heads of state who engage in comment on such things. And the Africa Union said, look, get out of the way, military. Let's restore constitutional government. Well, what is wrong with the heads of the Africa Union? Why are they saying such things? What constitutional government? They never uttered a peep during all of the rigged elections. They never uttered a peep when there was raping during the election of 2002, horrendous raping during the elections of 2008, and violence in 2013, the last election period. You know, I met with Mugabe 3 times in my adult life, at some length. He was intelligent, articulate, a kind of formidable presence. But surrounding him, whether from his fellow cabinet ministers, or whether it was from his staff, or whether it was from his acolytes, the dominant element was fear. The defining characteristic of his tyranny was fear. And now it's over. The tyrant is effectively gone. Thank God he's gone. That was last week. I'm Stephen Lewis.